Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
So why demand a head? Now it's easy one to say, look, it's the ultimate test of commitment, isn't it? Yeah? And actually, look at the history. Now we've covered up to 10 gurus now. And the 11th and eternal Guru Khalsa Panth. Every single test you've seen has been a test of commitment. Pailana ji, tested. Yeah? Then Guru Amar Das ji, seva, tested, their commitment. Years and years of doing seva. Bhai Jetha ji, again, seva, and tested against the other son-in-law. Right? Then Guru Arjan Dev ji, and their commitment to go to Lahore. Then Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji, again, you know, they were destined to be. But the point is, the Guruship has always been, and Guru Gobind Singh ji themselves, when they got given the Guru Gaddi, was how? Because they gave their own father up for Shahidi. Yeah? Maharaj sent his own father up, and he said, who's bigger than you? He accepted the Guru as what he is. Sab to vadda Sadguru Nanak. Jinkal Rakhi Meri. Some Sikh sides say, well, that's not talking about Guru. That Sadguru doesn't refer to Guru. They say, Sabte vadda Sadguru, Nanak Jinkal Rakhi Meri. Just think about this for a second. If Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not Sadguru, then who is he? Sadguru Nanak, Pargatya, Miti Tund, Jage Chanan Hoya. So if he Sabte vadda Sadguru Nanak, Jin Kal Rakhi Meri. Yeah? He is the highest of the high. Those who accept him as the highest of the high, they are the ones that then were given the next Guru Gaddi. Okay? So the Khalsa now accepts Guru Gobind Singh Ji as the highest of the high. If he wants to chop the head off, so be it. It's God. Now just a quick question. People often hear this line and they think, oh, it must be Guru Gobind Singh that wrote it. Because we don't really know that Bani so well. If you can't read Gurbani, we hear it here, we hear it there, we're not quite sure where it came from. You must have heard this Shabad. Yeah? Joto prem kiran ka chao, sir tal tali gali meri aao. It marg pair tarije sir dije kaan na kije. If you want to play the game of love, step onto my path with your head in the palm of your hands. Basasanga ji, who said it? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Yeah? The same test they set. The fulfillment is being done by Guru Gobind. The Khalsa is the fulfillment of the Gurus. Yeah? This is what they came for. They came to create the Khalsa, but it wasn't ready back then. The people weren't ready. So it took time. In the time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, only one Sikh was ready to play this game of love. Only one Sikh was ready. Pailana ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji had 5. It took 10 Gurus to make 5 Khalsa. Ready. Maharaj says, if you want to walk upon this path, then don't pay any heed to public opinion. Nowadays, a lot of people are like, I'm not sure about Amrit. What's my family going to say to me? What are my friends going to say to me? What's my work going to say to me? Isn't that the same question? Yeah? Pay no heed to public opinion. You do between you and your Guru what needs to happen. Forget the world. After you die, no one's going to remember you. And they're going to die separately. Yeah? So then, that's Lok Varante Vadik. Yeah? Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Again, another quick question on the test of commitment. What is it to give your head? Well, what is the game of Sikhi? The game of Sikhi is to find God. Agreed? Yeah? It's the road path of enlightenment. What's the problem though? What's the big load that we carry that we have to get rid of? Ego. Homme. Homme dirag roga hai. Daru bhi isma hai. Karam is part of ego. Your ego is the one that earns the karam. If you have no ego, there's nothing there to earn karam, right? So, the ego is the big ball and chain that we're dragging around with us everywhere. It's what's holding us back. Homme, nave, naal, viruddha hai. Doina vase ek thai. The ego is opposed to Naam. Naam is a connection to God. So we want to get to God, i.e. Naam. The ego is holding us back. Where there's ego, there's no Naam. Where there's Naam, there's no ego. So the ego has to go. Agreed? Ha is I, me is me. Homme is the problem. We have to get rid of I, me. How do we get rid of this thing? You give it away. Give it away to somebody who can cope with it. Give it to somebody who can actually take it off you and then tell you. Yeah, tell you what to do. So to give away the I, me means to follow someone. Because you can't say, I want to follow myself and still not have homme. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Try to get your head around this. You have to lose this ego to follow. So give away the homme means to live in hukum. Hukum rajai chalna. Guru's hukum. Follow Guru's hukum. That is the way to enlightenment. So Bani says, Aisa Satguru je mile. If you find such a Guru of truth, Satguru, tisno sir sompiye. If you meet that Guru who can cope with your ego, who is the perfect truth, then give him your head, vicho aap jai. From within you, your ego, aap is your ego, aap jai. You lose the ego. So Sikhi says, find a Guru who is worthy, who is the right Guru. The search is for the Guru. The Sikh search is for the Guru. Find the right Guru, give him your head. Find the wrong Guru, give him your head. He'll drown, you will drown. Bani talks about these people, yeah? If you go after the wrong Guru, so you got to find the right Guru. Yeah? In the Pai Rama Singh's book, it's called Search for the True Guru. Yeah? Because he wanted to find a Satguru. Another thing. So what happens now? The Khalsa is told, you are now being reborn. Okay? And all your past sins are being forgiven. Yeah? That's it. It's like blank slate time. Yeah? You might say, I don't know about this, sounds a bit too wishy-washy. No, this is what Maharaj gives. Lekha koi na puche. No one will ask you lekha. Maharaj said in Bani so many times, ki gun of gun, na bicharo koi. No one will look at your gun, no one will look at your avgun. It's like a wipe your slate clean. Okay? Guru does have the power to forgive all sins, yeah? Why did we say that otherwise? Otherwise you wouldn't follow him, innit? Maharaj can destroy sin. It says clearly. Lekha koi na puche. Lekha means your account. You know? What's written down. Koi puchda nahi hega. Turn up and no one's like, oh, it's alright, go on through. Yeah? But you still got judged on your actions here, henceforth. But at that moment, in that state of giving your head, that's it. Lekha koi na puche. Now, standing up from the crowd. The Khalsa is now ordered, you must stand up from the crowd. Okay? That's the hukum. Why? Why must we stand out? Why not just blend in? Because it's very easy to blend in. No one looks at you differently, no one bothers you. People are just like, yeah, he must be one of us. You know, no one is it's like the grey man syndrome. You can just get through as a grey man. No one checks you out and sees what's different about you. But remember the story of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj when they were in Delhi. Yeah? At that point, what happened? No one came forward to claim the head or the body. They said, are there any more Sikhs here? Because you all blended in. No one knew who was a Sikh, who was not. And they all stayed back. Then Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, from now on, when he heard about this, I will give my Sikh such a roop that they won't be able to blend in. Yeah? Because Maharaj wants us to stand up when the need is there to stand up. And not just to be thinking, Koina, they'll never know it's me if I just sit here. No. They will know it's us. And then they will look at us and they will say, oi, aren't you the Khalsa? They're asking for Sikhs over there. You look like one. Yeah? It keeps us strong. Lose the fear of death. That's the key thing here. There's no point reading Chaupai Sahib every day and saying, let me lose maran kal ka tras nevariye. Let me lose the fear of that time of death. And then when death is staring you in the face, you're like, oh, just a couple more years. No. Maran kal ka tras nevariye. Yeah? Maharaj is saying, forget that death. Death is nothing. Live as a Sikh. Death is nothing. Live as a Sikh and I'll bless you. Die as a coward, I can't bless you. Yeah? The Sikh is meant to live like a Sikh and die as a Sikh. Also, you can't shirk from your duty. It's not just the death part. Many times you could be walking past, someone's being troubled. If you just trust me, if you're in India and somebody is troubling a woman and you're the guy with the turban and beard, everybody's going to look at you. Everybody's going to say, Sardarji. You'll be like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Everybody will look at you. They all know about this. Yeah, 50 years ago, they would feel safe. Nowadays, you may not be wondering, hope the Sikh stands up to his duty, but guaranteed the duty is there and everybody knows about it. Itthe nahi pata Here, they won't know that you're supposed to stand out. They don't know anything about us. But they will do one day. And the roop is reminding us, ki this is your time to shine, O Sikh. This is when you step up and others will sit down. And then you're reborn into Guru's family. Yeah? Now, it's a warrior household. It's not a normal kind of like, yeah, we're just, all of us are all doctors, thanks. We've always been doctors. It's a warrior lifestyle, it's a warrior household. Guru's family is a warrior family. Maharaj says very clearly, Kshatri ko putram, Brahman ko nahi. I am not the son of a Brahmin, Maharaj says. I'm not this part parna wala only. I'm a Kshatri. Kshatri means the warrior caste. So we are warriors here. Yeah? So you might say, yes, we do have a macho culture in that sense. Not macho in the sense that we are like, suppressing women, but a macho culture that when things need to happen, then we step forward. Yeah? We're not here to like run away at that moment in time. Okay. So there's these 5 terms that are important to know. Khalsa meant Janam Nash. It doesn't matter what your family was. Whichever family you are related to doesn't matter anymore. Okay? Then Dharam Nash. Your previous religion is gone as well. So if you were Muslim and you took Amrit, that's it. Doesn't matter. You're no longer, you're never a Muslim. It's wiped out. Yeah? Same thing with if you're a Christian or whatever. This is what it means. Then Karam Nash. Karam here doesn't mean your karma. It means your rituals. Karam Kand. You're free of rituals. No worshipping graves. No worshipping any idols. Okay? Param Nash. Param means illusion. So now we're not looking at anything else but the one. Yeah? And that duality has to go. Ik. Sahib mera eko hai, pai eko hai. The Gurus and Waheguru, same light. Follow the same light. And then Shram Nash. Shram here means occupation and your caste. Yeah? So whatever you were told you were previously. Pandit Lal Chand should have been a Pandit his whole life. But then he became a Singh and he was a Shastratari Khalsa. Okay? The bases of the Khalsa were then, at that time, 1699, the bases were these. Yeah? So Paonta Sahib, Patna Sahib and Anandpur Sahib. Notice 2 names that are not up there. Hazur Sahib, not made yet. Okay? And then Harmandir Sahib. Guru Gobind Singh Ji never went there. Why? The Masands had it. The Masands controlled it. Maharaj never went there. Yeah? Bhai Mani Singh was sent there later on. It wasn't a battle that they wanted to fight right then and then. They had a bigger battle to fight. Okay? Hanji. Yeah. They called them over. They were dragged. All the Masands were dragged to Anandpur Sahib. And they were cooked. They were killed. There's only time in peacetime that Guru Gobind Singh Ji imposed the death penalty. It was to the people that were stealing the Sangat's money. Yeah? Very important thing to remember. Sangat da paisa, the chori of the Golak money, is the worst crime in a peacetime for a Sikh to steal from the Guru. They were killed. And not just they were killed, the whole families were killed. They were wiped out. Now you might say, oh, it sounds brutal. But they were sent to the next life. Yeah? Move on. This one's no longer for you. Yeah? Because the stealing from the Guru's Golak is the worst. Now, it's a real sad thing that in places like Germany, other places in this country, they've had to put grills on top of the Golak because people were stealing money out of the Golak, hoovering it up. Langar Seva, Hoover Seva was a very highly prized Seva in the Gurdwara in Germany because they would just suck all the money out. So you just think about what's going on in our Gurdwara. And I'll say go one step further. Stealing money and not using money properly is the same thing. Wasting money. Yeah? Most Gurdwara nowadays are wasting money. And they're just as guilty. Because you take Garib, where the Garib people are not being fed, not looked after, and the Gurdwara are building 20. I went to the Gurdwara in San Jose. Because what a ridiculous situation. $24 million on a prime location Gurdwara. The hall is so big, you cannot do, hard to do katha. It's so big, you feel like you're you're shouting, hello everybody. There's no cozy environment there. Why do they make these things? Ceiling is so high, you could fit 2 more floors in probably. Why? To wow people. So people like us, the people that don't know will walk in and say, I'd like to have my wedding here. So basically, it's a wedding palace. Yeah, they got 3 wedding halls, and they want to build more. Have they got a library? No. Have they got a shooting range? No. Have they got any kind of horse riding? They got enough land? No. What's going on? Is there like a full-time Kirtan teacher there? Probably not. Weekends only. What are we doing? Why are you wasting up? Why not just buy a school, teach Sikhi all day long, come together for half an hour at the end to do Rara Sahib? Make Sikhi stronger that way than you would by all this money spent on other stuff. Wasting money. The Hill Rajas now at this time, yeah, those Hill Rajas, because they were like, yo, we'll take Amrit as well. Yeah. They said to Maharaj, you give us Amrit, we'll take Amrit, but we don't want to take it with those poor people, the low caste people. A separate Amrit up here for us, Rajas. Maharaj says, no, this is not for you then. This is not for you. Yeah? Amrit was always given a test. Not everybody was just allowed to take Amrit. They had to conform to the rules of Amrit. Yeah? Now they did feel threatened by this. Okay, why? Because firstly, the Khalsa is anti-caste. Their whole focus is caste. The only reason they're in charge is because of caste. Yeah? Because they're the only people allowed to fight. So obviously they have to be in charge as the kings. But now Maharaj is saying, no, everybody's armed. And they made everybody a Singh. Now all these Rajas, you have to understand the meaning of the word Singh and Kaur, yeah? Because some people have assumed that it means king, or what does it mean? Lion and princess? No. Look, the Singh is a royal surname. Yeah? Get this right. Rana Pratap Singh, yeah? If you go to any Hindi movie and the king, the local leader walks in, what's his name? Gabbar Singh. Whatever. It's going to be something Singh, yeah? Or Rai. Rai and Singh. There were royal surnames. Maharaj chose Singh. So every male now has a royal surname. And then what they called Sardarji. Just to give you a clue, you might think, why is he Sardarji? Because they're also leaders. Yeah? So it meant you were a leader. It meant you were in charge. You were the ruling Khalsa. Yeah? You weren't going to be subjugated as a slave. You're going to be a ruler. The elevation of the common person up. So now this person who'd always been told that you're the dirt on my shoe, you have to own no land, you're not allowed to do anything. This person now walks around with a kirpan, a crown, says, my name is Mr. Singh, and call me Sardarji if you like. That's a big difference for that person in mentality. Yeah, big difference. And what does Kaur mean then? Does that mean princess? It means prince. It comes from the word Kumar. Kumar meant Raj Kumar, yeah, or Kumari. But it's not Kauri, it's Kaur, means prince. It's actually a male term as well. Just like Punjabi people often call their daughter their beta as well. Yeah? So it's Kaur. And if you want to say, well, is it a female name? What about Akali Kaur Singh? You think he was called Princess Singh? No. Kaur just means a royal surname. So we just made these words and they become like written in stone for us. Because that's all you ever heard. But it's a royal surname. It's to elevate the common person, to start thinking royally. Start thinking like a ruler. Yeah? Many people nowadays, I'll just quickly digress. Many people nowadays said to me, oh, well, what's wrong with us not being against the Muslims? What's wrong with that? They're not exactly doing good stuff. I said, we're meant to rule. It's all very well for the common person to have prejudices, but the ruler cannot have a prejudice. If the ruler has a prejudice, then that's wrong. You see? The ruler's dharam, the ruler has to have certain ways of behaving that are without prejudice. Yeah? So the Khalsa has to be without prejudice. Yeah? So no Sikhs against Sikhs with the EDO, that kind of stuff. We don't need that. Yeah? Concept of the Khalsa. I'm going to go through 5 meanings of the Khalsa ideal. Because it's such a big concept. Maharaj Guru Gobind Singh says, I can't even praise the Khalsa enough. So he's still trying to understand this in a multifaceted way, okay? What we'll do, what's the time by the way? 7:30. Okay, we'll have a little break for any questions you've got, and then we're going to go into this bit, okay? Alright, any because people are feeling a bit, been here for about an hour. Hanji. Okay, good question. Is it alright to mess about as much as you want now, then take Amrit and it's all clean? Well, theoretically, Yes, because if you don't know, theoretically yes, because if you don't know, if you're ignorant of the truth and you're getting what on your normal stuff, as I was, drinking, smoke, whatever, smoking weed and all that stuff, I didn't know, so I can't be blamed for my actions. What I knew, I was just following that, right? But the problem is when you know what's right and what's wrong, and you choose then to ignore the higher truth. Yeah? It's the intention. Because the thing is, Sikhi, I said this to you last time, I'll go to Panji next. There's 3 forms of karma in Sikhi. Yeah? Man, Bach and Karam. Your mind, karma, your Bachan karma, and your actions. Man, Bach, Karam. So this is what you think. Bachan means what you say. Yeah? Your word, what you speak, and then finally your actions. So these all 3 things create karma. Do you understand? So it's not the case that your actions only create karma. It's what you said. Like you could ruin someone's reputation by speaking against them. Yeah? You could destroy somebody by cussing them. Publicly or whatever, just physically you could and also you could give a word to somebody and then not fulfill it. And they would have relied upon that and they will fall down. So the way you speak, what you speak, you have to be very careful not to just speak fanciful things that are not true. When I say avarup, they say aap na kare, avat javat janme mare. To say something to somebody, you do this, but not do it yourself. There's a lot of preachers out there that will go and say, you do this, bro. Go on, I'm right behind you. Or just to say, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, but you're not doing it yourself. Yeah? So Mara, it's a very dangerous thing to be out there talking to people. Dangerous. Yeah? So the bachan is the other thing. We have to be able to speak correctly. So like you see Buddhism, it's got the 7-fold path, and it's got this kind of right action, right thought, right speech. Same thing, innit? 3 things you have to get into gurmat, as in into control in the right kind of action. Right kind of action, right kind of thinking, right kind of speaking, talking. Very important. Anji.
So if like a Sikh couple have kids,
Yep.
and they raise those kids in the Sikh way, and their kids wear like bugs and whatever.
Yep.
So they live in an area where they don't have other Sikhs around,
Yep.
and their kids
Very
are
common.
harmed or bullied because they look different.
Yep.
Not because of Sikhi or
Ignorance.
because people don't have an understanding of
Yeah.
Sikhi. Is that okay? Because what if those kids grow up to reject that identity because they're too young to understand the concept of it, but all they know is that they've been harmed because of it?
If the kid bears a grudge against the identity, then I'd blame the parents. Sorry. If the kid, what you need to understand is that nearly 99.9% of what we complain about is all our own fault. Yeah? Mara says, very dadda dos na diyo kise, dos karam apniya, jo main kiya, so main paya. Now, how many Sikhs out there are telling people about what Sikhi is? When we go and do street prachar, the level of ignorance on the street is immense. But Sikhs keep Sikhi to themselves. They don't hardly tell anybody about it. We can't even get, if we get 10,000 Sikhs together, it doesn't even come in the news. You know what happens in 84? In Geneva, who heard about the massive gathering of Sikhs in Geneva? Didn't come in any of my papers. And yet it was one of the biggest gatherings Geneva had ever seen. It didn't come in any papers. Why? We spent about £10 on publicity. Yeah? Everybody flew over there and no one took out a massive double page spread in the papers. Or we haven't even got a press. Have you got a press rep in this country? Who's a Sikh press rep? Is it? I don't know. I tried to suggest this to NSYF a long time ago. I said, why don't if you quit your normal careers and become the press secretary? We haven't got. So how many press reps do you think exist for the Muslims? Probably quite a few, I would have thought. Maybe nearly every major organisation. How many are there for the Sikhs? I think we've got one political rep from the Sikh Council, yeah? I don't think he's a press rep. He's politically rep, yeah? We've got no infrastructure in place to explain to people what we are. So whose fault is it? Now, many parents have done similar things, Benji. They've gone into the school, done a presentation of Sikhism. Yeah? They've done other things, like that girl you've heard about, that video, Australia, this girl she was called Gorilla Girl when she was growing up, yeah? She made a video on the Sikh film competition. And she gave a speech about how she stood up, but she taught her whole classroom. Now the thing is metal, you want to get gold, you have to temper it. Gold doesn't get purified just by itself. Nowadays, they purify it using cyanide. Poison purifies the gold. And previously they purified it by putting it under hot fire. If you read Japji Sahib, the last body, Jat Pahara, Tire Sunyar, it's about gold being purified. And the process is told to you is actually of heating it. Po Khalla Aganata Patao. The Khalla is a fire. You need Agni. So we have to go through the test of fire. The Sikh gets purified by fire. Right? In the same way then, the way that the world looks at us differently, that's part of the test of being a Sikh. So if the parents can't manage to get the kids to think positively about this thing that's been given to them, then maybe the parents should have taught their kids more Bani. Yeah? Because often it becomes a cultural thing. They don't try to understand the spiritual growth. A lot of Sikhs, now I go to universities and do talks. Guess how many people yesterday at Coventry University knew about Dasam Dwar? Out of the group of about 40 students, about 8 or 9. So they don't even know what Sikhi is. They don't even know what the body is. They don't even know at the top of their head they've got this space to connect to God. So who do we blame for this? The kid could laugh it off. He could say, you don't even know what Dasam Dwar is. You don't even know what Naam is. And yet you're moaning about my turban and beard. You could throw it back on them. Yeah? So, go on, you wanted to say something?
When I was at school, in the late 70s, I was the only Sikh boy in school. I'd been bullied, and I had my turban knocked off everything. But my father used to tell me these stories that you would just say every night. And because of that, I never cut my hair. I just carried on, and just took it. And because of that, then people started understanding that he's going to carry on. Then my friends grew together, and they actually helped to fight this off.
It's harder for kids, I agree. When I was at Sandhurst, one of my friends said that he used me as an example of moral courage. We had to write a lesson, and I was like surprised. He stood up and read this lecture out, and it was basically why, in spite of whatever 100 or 200 people there who were all pretty much white and middle class, trying to go through Sandhurst in the army, and I was the only person who was sitting there looking different and being shouted at differently, being talked to differently, and just carrying on. And it was like that test, that, the endurance, mokam, the determination to just carry on. We need that quality. It doesn't come by free. Determination comes when you live through determined times. Yeah? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Yeah? So that's when you find out what you're made of. Right? I was bullied as a kid. I grew up I cut my hair when I was 11. My parents taught me nothing about Sikhi. So I do blame the parents. Because all I knew was Sikh, turban on Sikhs. That's it. You know that Delbo Rodney sketch, innit? Like, oh no, not Delbo Rodney. Goodness gracious me, yeah? He's like, Dad, what is a Sikh? You got man, you put turban on man, you have Sikh. Yeah? It's like, no, there's a lot more to it. So yeah, it is about understanding what it is. And the kids will appreciate the itihas. They'll appreciate what the Sikhs did. Show them enough, take them on holiday to India, show them what Sikhi really is, and you'll be surprised what kids would pick up. Yeah? Any other questions? Hanji.
As a Khalsa, how much emphasis should be put on Dasam Granth? Because it's it's different in the way everybody else would see Khalsa as acting. There's certain things that Dasam Granth says.
Yeah.
That's it's a warrior faith, isn't it? Really. So
I'm not sure where the question is going. The Dasam Granth is integral to the Khalsa. I would say it is the Granth for the Khalsa. It's not for the Jagat, the world. The world does not necessarily have to read Jab Sahib and Akal, so they can read it. But Dasam Granth specifically is for the Khalsa. Guru Gobind Singh's left his children some special teachings just for them. Yeah. The rest of the world can look at Jagat Guru Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, get the enlightenment, but they don't necessarily have to know what the Khalsa has to do. The Khalsa has to face many more trials in its life. The Khalsa needs that Granth. Yeah. So I'd say it's paramount important to the Khalsa. Yeah. That's why the Nihang Singhs always kept it. Yeah. Because they needed it. Right. You need more teachings. The more hard work you got less number 2 in it. Yeah. Level 2. Then you need more training. Simple, isn't it? So yeah, it's there for the Khalsa. Wider public, some people don't even know about Sarab Lok Granth. A lot of Sikhs don't even know they existed. But who are the people that look after it? Nihang Singhs. Yeah. So, well, we'll have just have a bit of Pani and Coke break, and then whatever, and then we'll get on with the next bit.